On today's show, a review of Need for Speed Hot Pursuit and the SimSeat SR2 Sim Rig.
This show is sponsored by Sim Raceway. Inside Sim Racing is here in Los Angeles, a city that's no stranger to cars, joining Electronic Arts for the Need for Speed Hot Pursuit launch party, a 7-city tour that began in New York on July 14th, then headed on over to Chicago, Seattle, San Francisco, Austin, Miami, with its final pit stop here in Los Angeles. We're going to go inside and see what this launch party is all about. Before entering the event, we hit the red carpet to catch up with some celebrities. There were over 100 celebrities in attendance, from R&B singer Chris Brown to actors such as Mike Epps, Entourage's Kevin Dillon and Jerry Ferrera, Shannon Sossamon, Greg Grunberg from Lost and Heroes, The Bachelor's Bob Guiney, Transformers 3 stars LaMonica Garrett and Ali Cobrin, Rob Kardashian, and the most interesting man in the world. Here's what a few of the stars had to say. What brings you out to the Need for Speed Hot Pursuit launch party?
I need to check out the game. The game came out 13 years ago, and they haven't made a version of Cops versus the speed, the fancy race cars and everything. They haven't done a version like that.
The cars, obviously, I'm such a fan of cars, and especially these Porsches. I love it.
Have you guys got to play it yet?
Yes. Yes, we've played it. It's amazing. It's an amazing game. You can play with your friends. You can, if you, so normal games you go online, you have to be playing at the same time. This, if Bob plays when I'm not playing, his score will post on my computer so I can see and try and beat his lap time, which is really awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I have. Yeah, we were actually playing it on the set when we were filming this. It's pretty awesome.
You got a head start.
I did, yeah. The graphics are so good. It's really, you feel like you're really driving.
Which racing games do you play?
Remember RC Pro-Am and Nintendo? That was my favorite, and it still is. I still play it on the Wii. You can get downloaded on the Wii.
What video games do you play?
I play Call of Duty. That's a huge game. I don't know if, I'm sure you know. Madden, Halo, NHL. I play every single game.
Do you play any other video games?
Tons. I voice games. I've done a bunch of voicing for games, but I love all the sports games. Those are the games that I play with my kid.
Now, were you a cop or were you the bad guy?
I was the bad guy, but the cop's fun too. So, yeah, I like to mix it up, go back and forth a little bit.
I'll be a cop because I can break the rules.
All right, so then maybe I could play some head-to-head with you, and I'll be the other guy.
Well, I played as a cop, and then I also played as a bad guy. I mean, it's fun to play both ways.
I lost with the police when I tried the police, but I won when I was the Bugatti.
After dealing with a host of celebrities, it was time to check the event out. There were a number of cars showcasing the Need for Speed launch, and one of the most prestigious was a police car that sat at the front entrance of the club. There were Lamborghinis, Ferraris, and a Gumpert Apollo, all parked outside on Vine Street right in front of the Avalon. With a long line of guests waiting to gain entrance, this was sure to be a phenomenal night. Inside, the club was lit up with Hot Pursuit logos everywhere, along with various gaming stations armed with the title, surrounding the outskirts of the dance floor. We caught up with some of the party goers to hear their thoughts about the game. All right, can I get your name?
Josh Beasley.
Where are you from?
I'm from Sherman Oaks, California.
All right, so what brings you out to this event tonight?
Basically, I'm here with Lamborghini Club Los Angeles. So naturally, whenever there's a racing simulator game, we have to compare how real the game is to the actual thing. So
what do you think?
I think it's pretty accurate. There's a lot of stuff in there, though, that we couldn't normally do in real life, but thank God we can do it in the video game world.
All right, so do you play any video games outside of Need for Speed?
Oh, yes. I'm a huge fan of Forza Motorsport, huge fan of Gran Turismo. I mean, if I'm not driving, all I'm doing is playing racing games, so it's kind of sad, but it's my life.
How do you think this compares to racing simulation games?
The way I like it because it's a little bit more fun. The problem with a lot of simulators is that they're too focused on just straight racing. So there's some fun stuff that you couldn't normally do that you really want to do. and that's been one of the staples of the Need for Speed series for me ever since the first one all the way through. Basically, I just love the pursuit modes, being chased and being able to chase. It's a lot of fun. In most single games, all they care about is, just being first in the line. But this one, you got different dynamics, environments, traffic to deal with, so it's a lot of fun.
So I imagine you're looking forward to the upcoming Gran Turismo 5.
Oh yes, if they don't delay it again. As long as they do not delay it again, I will get it.
We'll see you on the tracks at GT5.
All right, thank you. It's a pleasure.
Okay, so you just got done playing Need for Speed here. Were you a cop or were you a bad guy?
I was a cop. I was a good guy.
You're a good guy. How did you like the game?
It's fun. I busted 4 guys and I ended up crashing and dying, I guess, but it was fun, a lot of fun.
Are you gonna play another round?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get back in there.
If they had 2 controllers, I'd challenge you, but I guess not.
You probably beat me.
I might, but I'll be a bad guy. You could be the cop.
Right on.
I'm here with Adrian, who just tried Need for Speed Hot Pursuit for the first time. How you doing, Adrian?
I'm fine. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Having a great time. Are you having a good time tonight?
I'm having a blast tonight.
Gotta love these launch parties, huh?
They're the best. I can't complain, honestly.
So you just tried out Need for Speed. What do you think of it so far?
I think it's a blast, honestly, from the special tactics into the racing and the regular Hot Pursuit. I'm loving it so far.
Now, this machine over here was set up as a cop earlier. Were you playing as the cop?
Yes, sir, I was.
Yeah, did you lay down some spike strips or a helicopter?
I laid down some spike strips. I laid down the roadblock. I even did some tricks of my own with the turbo. It all worked out pretty well, yeah.
What did you think about the way the game played in terms of the actual graphics and the way it drove and all that?
It looks honestly amazing, from the road strips to like the roadblocks. It's a helicopter dropping on the spike strips. It looks like the real thing, honestly. It looks really great.
Do you do a lot of other gaming?
I do the PS3, Xbox 360, the Wii. I try a little bit of everything. No complaints.
What about driving games? Do you play any other driving games?
I'm personally a Need for Speed Carbon, Burnout. I'm a Need for Speed kind of guy, so yeah. Paradise as well.
Yeah, sure, Burnout. That's from the same guys who made this version.
Exactly, yeah. It's like the original one. It's coming out great.
Right on. Well, hopefully I'll get to see you online and we'll do some cops and robbers.
I really look forward to it. All right. Thank you.
Are you into video games?
Not really, no.
What did you think about this Need for Speed Hot Pursuit?
It's pretty fun, so.
You didn't play video games as a child?
Not too much, just racing games, so that's how I'm into it.
Wow, that's perfect. That's what we cover. What kind of racing games do you like?
Pretty much anything more like realistic though.
You try any PC simulator?
Yeah, there's one called like Live for Speed.
I know Live for Speed.
Yeah, so.
You have a steering wheel at home or anything like that?
I actually do, but it's broken, so I haven't used it.
We gotta get you a new one. What kind of steering wheel is it?
It's a Logitech, I think. The
G27? G25?
Yeah.
All right, well, hopefully you get your new wheel soon so you can play some more racing games. Once you do get your wheel, what do you think you're gonna play?
I'll probably try Need for Speed with it, so.
All right, we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Sure, thanks.
I'm here with Courtney and Randall Dawn, a couple of the Need for Speed girls. How you doing tonight?
We are amazing. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Are you enjoying the party?
Absolutely.
So much fun.
Now I understand you two have been around for a few of the parties and seen a lot of the different crowds around.
Yes.
All over the country.
Any city in particular your favorite?
Miami. Miami.
What was it about Miami?
Just being in South Beach, and being in the atmosphere, and I've never been there before, so it was so much fun.
Right. And what about LA? Come on.
Okay,
LA's our hometown, so of course we love LA.
All right, so have you guys been checking out all the Need for Speed, everybody playing it?
Definitely. So many people love it. It's a ridiculous game. The gameplay is absolutely on point. It's amazing.
Yeah. And what is your favorite car in the game?
I'd have to say mine, the Cooper Apollo. We have one outside too. If you haven't seen it, go check it out.
Yeah, there's an orange guy with a very large man sitting on top of the Gumpert. I don't know if you guys saw that.
I didn't see him up there.
And what's your favorite car?
I would have to say the Lamborghini.
Yeah. And what's it like working with the parties? You guys have to pose for a lot of pictures with guys. You talk about the game. What's it like being a Need for Speed? Is that what I call you?
Yeah, I guess that's what you call us. It's really amazing. We get to go to all the different cities. We get to play the game. We get to check out the hot cars. And of course, if you look around, look how much fun this is. And
Yeah, pretty easy job, huh?
Not too difficult.
Are you going to work with Need for Speed in the future for other titles, you hope?
Fingers crossed.
So I'm here with the one and only Jessica Lopez, who has now tried Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. What did you think, Jessica?
Well, it wasn't my first time playing. I tried it over at E3, and it's a great game, and I like how you can either be a cop or a bad guy. So it's kind of like two games combined into one. You're either chasing the bad guy or you're running from the good guys.
Now, I saw you interviewing a bunch of people, and it seemed like the one thing you wanted to know is, did they want to be a cop or robber? So what was your preference?
I want to be the robber.
Why is that?
Because I'm always the good girl, so I want to be bad sometimes.
That's not what we hear about you at the show.
Well, you heard wrong. One thing I can say, though, no matter how hard I crashed, I felt like, you know, it did show some damage to the vehicle, but you can crash as hard as you want into other cars or, you know, things on the side of the road, and you're still able to drive.
It seems like they kind of encourage the whole bashing into anything you can find mentality.
And that's fun sometimes.
I agree. That's kind of the whole point of the game. So what about the party? Are you having a good time at the party?
I'm having an awesome time. I'm glad we came out to this Need for Speed Hot Pursuit launch party. We're having a great time. We're getting to talk to a lot of gamers and see their thoughts on it and racing in general.
Now, what about the red carpet? That was your first time doing some red carpet interviews. How did that go?
I think that went fairly well, except when I spoke with Kevin Dillon. I got a little nervous or tongue-tied. I don't know. I wouldn't say I was nervous, but it just didn't flow well.
Well, in your defense, they were kind of hurrying him along past us.
They told me I had 3 questions to ask them, and they gave me a few minutes, and so I kind of felt the pressure.
All right. And what kind of feedback have you gotten from everybody you've talked to about the game?
Everybody that I've talked to about the game loves it. A majority of people that are here are not racing game fans. They're more into, you know, the first-person shooter stuff and the newly released Black Ops. But you know what? Everyone here loves it. So it's a great game. It's lots of fun.
And speaking of love it, how about the music tonight? You loving the music?
I love the music. I'm a big fan of hip-hop, 90s hip-hop and soul, and that's how they're playing here, so I'm having a good time, definitely.
Right on, me too. Well, thank you for taking the interview, Jessica. I appreciate it.
You're most welcome. All in all, we had a fun-filled time at the Need for Speed Hot Pursuit launch party. The event brought out some of Hollywood's best. We got to hear some great music played by DJs Peanut Butter Wolf, Adam 12, Skeet Skeet, Mayor Hawthorne, and the event was headlined by the Philly-based duo Chitty Bang. And we can't forget the beautiful Need for Speed models, Randall Dawn, Courtney Day, Miki Taka, and Vanessa James.
Hi, I'm Courtney.
Hi, I'm Randall Dawn. We're at the Need for Speed launch party.
And you're watching Inside Sim Racing.
rFactor Central, the home of the one-click install. Go to rFactor Central now and download the new client for the fastest downloads and one-click install your favorite rFactor mod. No more mass errors, no more viruses, automatically download and install hundreds of cars and tracks and never have to manage a file to do it. Seeing is believing. Go to rFactorCentral.com, download the new client, and try out the free trial membership for yourself.
We're having an awesome time playing cops and robbers. Gonna hand it back to the studio for Sean and Darren to check out the Sim Seat, which we're gonna put on our rev scale. So let's see how the Sim Seat holds up.
All right, well, here we are with the SimSeat SR2. I'd like to thank Zach at SimSeats for sending us this unit. Had it for, I don't know, about a month now?
Yeah, we've all had plenty of time to test this one out.
Yep, and someone's actually got this thing claimed.
That's the way it works.
She's sitting in the room right now. Andrea has claimed this as her seat. So anyway, I'm going to review it so we can hand it off to her so she can take it home, actually. No, just kidding. But anyway, no, actually I'm not. But let's start with the price. Originally lists for $320, but they got it on sale right now for $299. Wow. And that does not include shipping. It's about $30 to $50 shipping. in the U.S. only. I don't believe you can get this outside the U.S. So 30-day warranty, repair services after that. This is compatible with a Logitech, Microsoft 3, any wheel. This is the first seat that we've got, or rig that we've got, that the Fanatic wheel clamps to it. Like, I mean, this is like unbelievable that the Fanatic clamp works on anything, because we hate that clamp.
It's
but Thomas, this is the first rig that works really well with your clamp.
I forgot it was clamped. I assumed it was bolted. It's actually clamped so well.
So Thomas, I believe your clamp is not flawed. And SimSeat, you guys created a seat that is Fanatic compatible and you didn't even know it. So we're using G25 pedals in it because he sent this as a G25 or G27 compatible seat. And it's got like a grooved or indented tray specifically for those pedals. He also makes one with a flat tray, and that's why we're running them, by the way. He also makes one with a flat tray so you can adapt any kind of pedals, Club Sports, Fanatic.
Or be able to move these left and right.
Exactly. Thrustmasters should work fine. Didn't try the Thrustmaster wheel, but on it, I guarantee it would clamp to that thing. So that's the compatibility. You can actually have these things customized too. He will build these things custom made for you. But again, I don't know what you need to customize it for unless you're going like for a different type of wheel.
Or a different shifter, I suppose, because you know we're using our. This is the G25 mount that we have the sim gear on.
Exactly, we got a sim gear shifter attached to it. We have the G25 mount, which is an additional $40, $39.99. If you have it painted, which we have ours painted, it's like a, what is this, like a powder coating, Sean?
Yeah, but it seems to scratch. It might even be lighter than that, and it is a little rough around the edges.
Or you could just get it bare without any paint. You can get the whole rig bare if you wanted. But the shifter mount bare is $34.99. 55 pounds, all came in one box. You can actually pick this thing up if you live in Virginia. So they have a warehouse, they have an address at their site. By the way, their website, sim-seats.com, if you want to check one out. Easy to assemble. Just came with some bolts, the pieces that all attached. The seat needed to bolt to the bottom frame there. It's got a full slider in the seat, full recline. Sean, why don't you do a
little recline action?
Yeah, exactly. Full recline there.
Like a real car.
Yeah, and then it's got the slider on the bottom. So you got a lot of adjustability as far as where your seating position is in relation to the pedals. And then you can slide the pedals back and forth, you know, in relation to the rig. So lots of adjustability there. But the only place it doesn't have adjustability is right here in the deck. It doesn't no up and down. So pros and cons. Sean, why don't you give us some cons on this thing?
Some cons. Okay, well, I did mention it's a little rough around the edges, so it's not one of those super smooth metal objects. There is a little bit of wiggle, but not too much.
Yep.
And the seat's not the highest quality seat in the world. It's definitely very comfortable, but not super high quality.
I can go with that. All right, so there's some of the cons. And I'll add one, the non-adjustable wheel deck. You can't tilt it, but that's a pretty minor one considering, like we said, the positioning was just about perfect.
And it is at the angle that, I mean, this is where I want everything actually, perfectly.
Yeah, and that's about it, I would say, for cons. Oh, and there's a little bit of a flex in the middle of the rig, and I think it's just because of the design. If you use a heavy-duty brake in this rig, it's a little too much, and you get a little bit of a bow, believe it or not. So we're just using a non-modified set of G25 pedals. So anything with a heavy-duty brake, like a load cell or a Nixa-modded set of G25s, you're going to get a little bit of bow, but this rig for this price really wasn't made for, you know, something super high-end. I would imagine there's a way that he could reinforce it, you know, since he does custom make these things. So that being said, pros. Lots of pros in this thing, starting with the cost. You know, $300 for this thing before shipping is just a steal. I mean, I remember getting a seat like that from Jegs for about $150. So.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it for that price, actually.
Yeah, so that's a really good price. It's very comfortable. Seating position is really good. Wheel position is really good. Build quality for this price, I'd say, you know, it's like Sean said, it's a little rough around the edges, but overall, it's a good rig. I mean, ergonomically, it's well built.
And one thing about the comfort is the actual lumbar support. And I mean, I'm not in a real race car. I'm looking for comfort, and that's an area where I get tired, and this has real good comfort right there.
Yep, I agree. Like we mentioned, this thing's compatible with every wheel on the market. This is one of the first rigs that we've got that didn't have to be drilled for the Fanatic, besides like the Game Pod and the Fanatic rig. But other than that, this thing's awesome. And I love this rig for the price. Definitely looks familiar. I mean, Sean, what does this rig look like? What other rigs that we've had in here?
Oh, like the Play Seat, like the Game Racer, like all the center post design, small footprint rigs.
But again, like you said, a little rough around the edges, a little more rough around the edges than those other two.
Yeah.
But just as, a lot cheaper and just as functional. So no complaints for me really for this rig, especially for the price. Actually, not international shipping. So Zach, you need to start shipping these things internationally because I got a feeling you'd ship them or you'd sell them pretty good. All right, rev scale. Sean, your turn. Why don't you pause this here?
Okay. You know, we mentioned rough around the edges. You cannot beat it for the money. It's everything you need, and a lot of rigs nowadays are so expensive. And this is affordable, and it's going to get people off their desktop. And for that, it's an easy 9.
Yep, I agree. 9 on the rev scale. Tommy was here. We talked about it with him too. He agreed. We all agreed. Andrea agrees. We all love it. Zach, great job. Again, rough around the edges, but great rig, and it does the job. And any wheel you got, it's compatible with.
And color combos, and I mean, there's a lot to love in this rig.
Yep, we have the white and black. There's blue and black. I think there's a red and black. So lots of different combos for colors. And actually has different models too. There's the SR1 that's even cheaper. And then I think he's got a wheel stand too. So check him out, sim-seats.com. That's with an S. And tell him Inside Sim Racing sent you. That's going to do it.
GamePod, the ultimate race rig for those serious about sim racing. Puts you in the driver's seat with all the controls at your fingertips. Be number one on the road, in the race, in the game. GamePod, the choice of champions.
So as you can see, we're at the launch party. I'm with the beautiful Need for Speed ladies. We're going to go ahead and review this game. So here it is, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. Today's top story is sponsored by RaceSimCentral.com, sim racing news and forums since the year 2000.
So we are here for the review portion of the show, and we have it fired up on the PS3, which brings in the first problem with the PS3 version, and that is lack of wheel support. Tommy, you want to show them how that wheel's working?
Super. So good that he's using the controller.
Yeah.
We were excited to try this out and had no idea. I was asking Sean, I said, does that thing have wheel support? Yeah, it's got wheel support.
I read it somewhere.
Yeah. Well, for the 360 and the PC it does, but not for the PS3.
At least not the known wheels that people would want to be using.
Well, and I thought, okay, Fanatic was the first wheel of choice we had booted up, and I thought, okay, another game that doesn't have Fanatic support. Then I went and ran and got the DF GT, same thing. So no wheel support at all. I mean, none at all. Grand Theft Auto had wheel support, and this, you can't even move menus with the Logitech wheels, so something.
And that means we are eager to try it out on the Xbox and on the PC.
I did see a forum post that said that due to the demand, the high demand for Logitech wheel support, that there will be, but who knows.
But playing it with the controller wasn't that bad. It is very arcade-ish, so let's get that out of the way right now. If you're a hardcore simmer, you're not going to need your hardcore peripherals to play this one. Gamepad works just great.
Yeah, we've talked about, you know, full-blown simulation, iRacing, R-Factor, Netcar, Fun Sim, Gran Turismo 5. What's that? No, and then we've got Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. This is pure arcade.
Central to all units, officers require assistance on Lost Horse Road.
This is not simulation. This is not simulating anything but trying to escape from the cops or being a cop and trying to ram somebody else off the road.
Well, and for me, long before Sims, it was a lifetime of motorsports gaming. Anything that you could drive and play, and in the case of Need for Speed, get very aggressive with, I loved it. And that's what this game is all about, being aggressive with it.
Yep. So, where do we go from here?
Well, I mean, let's talk about some of the big things. The gameplay is great both online and offline. Your career mode, you've got Seacrest County, you can go from region to region, and you got different challenges.
And then you got multiplayer, which is very similar.
It is, and you have different classes of car you can pick, and then you're up against 7 players, cops and robbers, or cops and racers.
Yeah, which is really cool. And then you got this whole auto log system, which is pretty neat, which you have to be online to do it. And what it does is it keeps track of like lap times and stuff. So all your friends on your PSN network, on the PlayStation,
or your enemies.
Yeah, or your enemies. It shows lap times at certain stages and kind of throws out challenges and all sorts of cool stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
And so, I mean, the way it played out for us, we fired it up on multiplayer, went against each other, and immediately we were screaming from our opposite workstations at each other because the game was that kind of fun. You're smashing each other, and you threw that E-brake maneuver on me and just disappeared.
Yeah, that was my famous move. I kept just spinning that E-brake. That's the way to try to get away. That's what's cool about this. I like that in this Hot Pursuit. I got to admit, I'm not a big Need for Speed player. I haven't played a lot of the versions. Shift I definitely played. And the ones that we've had, since we've started reviewing, stuff on the show. But Sean is more of he's played just about every version of it.
I have.
But this is a lot of fun. I've had a blast with this, being the cop or the speeder.
Yeah.
And it's cool. So pros and cons?
Pros and cons. Pros are easy. I mean, incredible gameplay, incredible graphics.
Graphics are amazing. Sounds.
The sounds are great. The siren sounds, the car engine sounds, the crashes sound good.
Multiplayer's it's solid as long as you got a good connection. I haven't seen as far as warping or glitching, a little bit here and there if somebody's got a bad connection, but overall it's solid.
The code is good. When we were playing against each other on the same network, it worked out great.
Yep.
The offline career mode is a blast as well. The whole auto log thing and having it taunt you. I mean, when I got a message saying you had beat my lap time, that took a challenge that I'd already passed and made me want to go do it again. And that's going to help the longevity of this game as well.
Yep.
So
cons, I'd say the no wheel support. For me, I get like carpal tunnel in my hand from mashing on the accelerator so hard. Other than that, there's really nothing else. This game's a blast.
I mean, the cutscenes when you wreck someone are a little weird, and then the restart. But I mean, that's getting really picky.
Yeah, like if you're in a race and you blast somebody, they're flipping and crashing. And then all of a sudden, they're back at full speed.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucked. But, the rubber band effect is just, man, that is the biggest rubber band effect I've ever seen in any game. But you know what? I was talking to Sean about that. Imagine in a Need for Speed Hot Pursuit race, you get a 5-second lead on just an open stage, with oncoming traffic. I mean, what's the fun in that? I mean, it just kind of
defeats the point.
Fun is trying to ram the other guy off the road and
so keep them together.
Yeah, dropping spike strips and EMPs and calling in the helicopter and all that stuff. It's really cool.
So that's a pro-con, we're going to call it.
Yeah.
So what do you want to do score-wise? We got
it's rev scale for sure.
Rev scale?
Yeah, we can't shabammy this.
No, it's definitely not a sim. So you give the score today.
We're going to give it a 9 on the rev scale. All three of us agreed. We were almost going 10.
Yeah.
Tommy's shaking his head over here, yes. We all agreed that it was close to a 10, but we're going to give it a 9 on the rev scale.
Absolutely.
If we rated it on the shabammy, it would just suffer horribly. I mean, we talked about it. Anytime you can drop weapons,
that's not a sim.
Throw out EMP blasts and call in helicopters, that is not a sim. I mean, that is just pure arcade. But you know what? It's a great diversion. It's racing to an extent. It's, when we've talked about anything that's going to be driving or racing, and a lot of fun like this we're going to cover it here on the show. So
definitely
9 on the rev scale,
and well deserved.
Yep.
So that's going to do it for Need for Speed Hot Pursuit on the PS3. If you love this kind of game, I mean, killing people, you're going to love this.
Highly recommend it. Yeah,
Big time.
I would definitely get it.
that's going to wrap up our look at Need for Speed Hot Pursuit here at the Avalon in Hollywood, an event that's celebrating the launch of the title, promoted by King Size USA. We've had a great time here. We got to check out the title on some HD kiosks all throughout the club. Got to meet some racers and some non-racers and lots of gamers. Had an awesome time. What more can we ask for? We hope that you guys have enjoyed our review of this game, and that's going to wrap it up. Make sure you visit InsideSimRacing.tv for some full-on details about Need for Speed Hot Pursuit. For Jessica Lopez, Sean Cole, Tommy Hackey, Darren Ganji, Checker Flag is out, and so are we. Racing rigs provided by GamePod, the choice of champions. Go to gamepod.co.uk. Okay, so what's your name?
Cody.
Where are you from?
LA.
What part of LA?
Toluca Lake.
Toluca Lake. Okay, so what brings you out to this event tonight?
Man, the DJ.
So you heard about this, about the DJs. That's how you came
Yeah, Mayor Hawthorne, Peanut Butter Wood, Chitty Bang, DJ Adam 12. I'm all about it.
Do you play any video games?
I always play video games.
What's your favorite?
Man, this one. I'm a big fan of Need for Speed Pursuit.
Okay, before this came out, it was just released today. What did you like to play before that?
To be honest, Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong. It's okay, I like Super Mario Brothers, so we're even here. And Pac-Man, and Street Fighter. So you think you're going to be getting this game?
Yeah, I think I'm about to go win it over there in the PlayStation 3 box. I'm going to go enter my code, and then I'm going to go win the game, and then I'll be set for life.
All right, we wish you all the luck.
Mwah.
Perfect.